If you're just starting out in photography, you'll quickly come to realize that cameras all have their own strengths and their weaknesses depending on the brand. But before you go and spend all that cash, let's just talk about a few things you should consider before buying that camera, so you can pick the camera that works best for you. Let's start off with if you should buy new or used. New camera gear is very expensive, like really expensive. So you might consider buying used, older cameras, older bodies, older lenses. Don't fret too much because there are a lot of good options out there. Take, for example, the Canon 5D Mark III, the Nikon D750, or the Sony A7 II. You can find these cameras for a fraction of what their modern counterparts cost. And they still produce incredible images. If you're on a budget, you can save hundreds or even thousands of dollars just by getting a camera body that's a few generations older. They'll still produce great images, but you'll lack some bells and whistles. And as Shakespeare would say, aye, there's the rub. Because a lot of those bells and whistles are very nice to have, like very nice to have. Like dynamic range and ISO performance. Newer sensors just are better than older sensors. You get better dynamic range, you get better low light capabilities. We've come a long way with sensors. Older cameras, they still produce great images, but you'll be lacking a bit if you want to do some, night photography or dusk photography, or you might even find that you are just lacking a little bit of dynamic range. Another thing is autofocus speed and accuracy. On older cameras, it's a bit slower to focus on a subject and the camera struggles a bit more to track the subject. In lower light conditions, your camera might struggle to find what it's supposed to focus on. So on an older camera, you might find yourself switching to manual mode and manually focusing on what you want to see. Newer cameras, they have all these neural engines built into them, AI tracking, so they're lightning fast and they can track anything through the frame. And if you're into video features, 4K is generally off the table. You'll get like 1080p, certain frame rates you'll be missing too, like slow motion frame rates, 120 frames, 240, that's probably not there. 10-bit recording most definitely won't be there. And you might even be lacking some log profiles. But if you're not into video features whatsoever, don't even worry about it. Another thing older cameras lack is connectivity, like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, live viewing, all that kind of usually isn't there. And if it is there, it's outdated and it's slow. So you might have a little bit of a tough time with that. So in short, you might miss out on those modern features, but the core image quality is still there. It's still good. People were shooting on these cameras professionally years ago, so there's no reason why shooting on one today will provide bad images. You'll just be lacking some features some creature comforts, I should say. Even the camera that I shoot with on a daily is considered outdated by today's standards. I shoot on the Canon R. Still a fantastic camera, but yeah, it's lacking animal eye tracking. It doesn't have as fast of a shutter, but that's all stuff I can work around. I don't need that stuff necessarily. It'd be nice to have it, but I don't really need it. I can shoot without it. Now, if we're talking about picking a camera brand, lenses are super important to that. So let's talk about lenses real quick. And this is where you can save a lot of money. See, even if you go and you buy a newer camera body, you can use older glass on that camera body, even if it's a different mount. So the Canon EF mount is older glass, same with Nikon F mount, but with adapters, you can use that to put on your newer camera bodies, and they'll generally work the same, little bit slower autofocus. They might be a bit noisier, but if you're into photography, not a huge deal. The optics are what you really care about, and if you spend the money on good quality glass, you can use those lenses for years and years, and they'll still be amazing as long as you don't have any fog or, fungus. That's what it's called, fungus. When you buy used gear, used lenses, you might get fungus on them. Stay far away from that. But older lenses are still fantastic optically, and there's no reason why you can't use them on a newer body. Buying newer lenses for your newer body is just going to be very expensive. You can generally pick up 2 lenses for the price of 1 new lens. See, I do this with my Canon R. I bought all EF glass to use on my Canon R. Even though the Canon R body is R mount, I use EF on them. Because you save a lot of money on lenses. All the lenses are fine. They're still really sharp. They have weather sealing, and that's all I really care about. And if you're wondering why I chose Canon over all of my other brands, well, I started out on Nikon initially, but I found that I wasn't finding any good deals on used lenses or used bodies, but Canon is so popular, like so popular. So you get these college kids that buy these cameras and then realize they're not into photography and they throw them on eBay or Kijiji or Craigslist, and then I scoop them up. That's why I switched from Nikon to Canon, just because it was so popular. The used market was flooded with bodies, lenses, and gear. So I got some really good deals on all of my camera equipment just from it being oversaturated. So when you're picking a camera brand, some camera brands will be better than others in certain departments, and let's break down a couple really popular brands and what they're known for. So for Canon, a lot of photographers will say Canon has the best autofocus, the best color science, it's the most reliable for skin tones. That's generally what the consensus is for Canon. For Nikon, they're really known for their dynamic range and their stills capabilities. The images that come out of Nikon cameras are beautiful. There's hands down, there's no way around it. They're just beautiful. And even though it's become kind of a meme to crap on Nikon a little bit, they own Red cameras now, just putting that out there. But it's been a kind of a meme to crap on Nikon unjustly, because they are fantastic cameras, and since it's a meme, their pricing on the used market has actually become a little bit cheaper, because maybe it's just some people get weirded out that it's become a meme. I don't know, but there's some good deals on there now. Sony is great for hybrid shooters. Sony likes to innovate. When Sony came onto the scene, they had amazing photography features and video features, all crammed into a mirrorless camera, and it's amazing, and they keep innovating all the time. And if you're looking at Fujifilm, you hipster you, they're really known for their tactile feel, their film simulations, and overall just being a nice, quality high-end camera. And people really love the fact that you can just take a picture and the colors straight out of the camera look amazing. If you just want to do photography, Nikon and Fuji are great, but if you want a little bit more of a hybrid option, like you want to do some videography as well as photography, Canon and Sony are really good cameras for that. I chose Canon because it's the best of both worlds for me. Some people just make gut choices when they choose the camera because they think the lens ecosystem is better on this brand, or they like the color science of this brand, or they like the familiarity of this brand because they already had a camera like that when they were younger maybe. Some people just pick a camera brand because they pick it up and it feels good in their hands. There's no real right answer to this. You can pick a brand and you can switch from that brand in the future if you don't like it or you find something different. Like I said, I switched from Nikon to Canon. It was just a choice based on money, pretty much. I would have stayed with Nikon if I had better deals or if I had more money, but Canon, it was just cheaper options. There's no yes or no answer to this. You just got to take everything into account and choose based on what feels best for you. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know, subscribe down below, and check this playlist out for all my gear reviews. All right, you guys have a good one. Peace.